In the past, I've shown you how the PlayStation Portable fares against other systems in regards to its video quality and graphics compared to emulation or real hardware. What I haven't done is shown you how incredible the PlayStation Portable video output can be depending on the circumstances and the media it is used with. For today, I'm using the PlayStation Portable 2000 model known as the PlayStation Portable Slim and pairing it with the Sony official component PSP cables for the best video output quality. I'm using the OSSC to upscale the graphics. Let's begin. We shall begin with how PlayStation Portable games look when outputting them to a display. For this, we must use the 480p progressive scan mode nestled in the system settings and the 16:9 aspect ratio, as all PlayStation Portable games support this natively. If you are wondering, Interlaced mode does not work with PlayStation Portable software. For this, you'll need a PlayStation Portable 3000 or PlayStation Portable Go if you want to display PlayStation Portable games in 480i mode. PlayStation Portable games output in 480p and display in a small screen. I assume this is done to keep the picture relative to how it would look on the PlayStation Portable's display. This means you will have to zoom in the picture to full screen, as you see here. Although we may lose detail this way, many games actually look quite sharp and show off how well the PlayStation Portable can look when outputting to a display. One thing you can see is the dithering on screen, which is quite intense. PlayStation Portable games were known for using 16-bit color, and sadly, this is the result. Another aspect of the PlayStation Portable output is the video playback in cutscenes. Janine Dark has very nice cutscenes with DVD-like quality, which is still impressive today. The Singer Final Fantasy cutscenes look even better. I was blown away by the quality on screen. Blaze Blue, on the other hand, has clear compression artifacts during its FMV cutscenes, and then the video output of the game also seems suspect too. It's not as detailed as the other games and there's no dithering at all on screen. Could this be a factor as to why it is underperforming in the video output test? Other games, such as Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, have a screen size function to either use full screen or 4:3. Comparing the two, the 4:3 mode is sharper and is not stretched. After all, this game was originally made with 4:3 aspect ratios in mind. Stretching it to 16:9 does the PlayStation Portable video output no favours. People don't mention the video output of the PlayStation Portable when playing media, so how about we test using UMD movies? Using Spider-Man 2 as our test movie, going between 480p and 480i shown side by side, the results are pretty good. 480p is cleaner and more detailed, whereas 480i has clear aliasing and stair-stepping if you look closely. Otherwise, the PlayStation Portable video output is pretty good, and if you have the right setup, many of you will be happy with the results. I tried out a few more movies in 480p, so let's see if the quality is the same as Spider-Man 2. Let's tackle the last aspect for today's video, PlayStation games on PlayStation Portable. I will keep this brief as I've shown this against real PlayStation hardware in the past. When outputting PlayStation games from a PlayStation Portable, you can use both interlaced video and progressive scan video. Interlaced video allows for 240p or 288p and 480i or 576i video outputs. In other words, it matches exactly how a real PlayStation would output its video. This is great because it means the PlayStation Portable can mimic the PlayStation 1 video output and everything works as expected. The PlayStation Portable has to use bilinear filtering since the PlayStation Portable display does not scale completely to native PlayStation output, and the same is true when outputting video from PlayStation 1 games. Mind you, the results using 240p upscale to 1200p thanks to the OSSC still look very good, and I feel most of you would be happy to experience PlayStation games judging the image quality you see here. The PlayStation Portable had composite and S-video cables available, which should please those wanting to take advantage of CRT displays as well. Oh, and the 16:9 widescreen games also work as shown here with Jarrett and Labonte Stock Car Racing, also known as Tucker World Touring Cars in Europe. When we try progressive scan mode, aka 480p on these 240p or 288p games, sadly the result is a lot more blur and compromised video output. If you only have component analog inputs on your CRT or HD TV displays, this will work, but not as well as the interlaced mode. Progressive scan mode has one great use on the PlayStation video output. It is when a game takes advantage of the PlayStation's high-res mode, also known as 480i or 576i mode. Using Tekken 3 for testing, here it is using interlaced mode with the OSSC at line 4x. Now here's the PlayStation Portable using progressive scan mode at line 2x for the OSSC. The difference is stark, and I love using progressive scan mode for games like this. Dead or Alive also has similar results, as this title also uses the high-res mode of the PlayStation. The PlayStation Portable video output is very interesting, and when used correctly, the results can be very nice. Sadly, some games don't look as good as others for whatever reason, and PlayStation Portable games play natively in a small window when using its video output, meaning you must zoom in to full screen, reducing the image quality in the process. Both the PlayStation 1 output and UMD video output is more favourable for the PlayStation Portable, and to have 480p progressive scan used for the PlayStation high-res games is a game changer. I enjoyed this hack. You can get better image quality for PlayStation Portable games using a PlayStation TV with sharp scale or using the PPSSPP emulator, but I still like the quality of the PlayStation Portable video output, and, well, the fact it works so well on nearly a 20-year-old handheld is simply magnificent. What do you folks think of the PlayStation Portable video output? Tell me in the comments, and I will see you soon.